So here we are playing Doom Eternal at 1440p at a mixture of Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare settings. Mostly I did that because I wanted to remove some strain on the CPU because this game is not as CPU dependent, but still this is what was holding the RX 470 back from getting 60 frames per second. Now I have played at 1080p Ultra Nightmare settings and I was getting around 60 FPS. I'm gonna show that in another video soon. But hey, 1440p seems to be like a good resolution, and most of the times you cannot go under 60 frames per second. I mean, this type of benchmark or gameplay is more focused on the RX 470 because if you have a better CPU, that means that you can play this game at 1440p and get 60 frames per stable, you know. So anything that made this PC go under 60 frames per second, that's the CPU. And also I've been playing at 1080p low settings and I couldn't get over 120 frame rates. So that shows how, you know, this CPU is actually bottlenecking the GPU. So the RX 470 is surprisingly, you know, keeps on proving that he's faster than I think, you know. Also, I just wanted to point out how this game is so good optimized, you know, for the AMD GPUs, and it's so badly, you know, optimized for NVIDIA GPUs. And that has to do with NVIDIA GPUs do not work that well with the Vulkan API. I mean, as you've seen, the GTX 750 Ti could not get 60 frames per second. The GTX 760, 770, you know, which is like 30 to 40% more performance, couldn't get, you know, 60 frames at 1080p, while something like an RX 460 or an RX 560, which by the way gives you the same performance of the previous GPUs that I've mentioned, at 1080p medium settings you're getting 60 frame rates. So that shows you how AMD is actually good with Vulkan API, you know. And we've seen you know, Rainbow Six Vulkan API has been introduced to it recently. So yeah, I guess like NVIDIA needs to up their game a little bit in terms of, you know, aging, because they're so bad. And I don't know why a lot of people do not, you know, point that out, but NVIDIA GPUs are so bad when they age. I mean, look at the GTX 980, for example, you know, I hate to see a GPU like a 1070, you know, ages that bad, you know, it's just so bad. But hey, looking now at the RX 470, it's given a great performance. I'm gonna leave you with the rest of the benchmark, and I'm sorry, I was talking in the background. I didn't know that I left the mic open, so I don't know if I'm gonna use some background music of one of my favorites or not. But hey, thank you for bearing me and listening to the first 2 minutes. If you haven't, it's okay, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.